Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Ledio. Welcome to So Serious Gaming. And first of all, let me apologise. I've not done a video for like nearly a couple of weeks now. I've been seriously ill. The kids have been ill, so yeah, I've just not been feeling up to it. So I just haven't been bothering. Like the bug was dreadful, man. Like it made my throat hurt just talking. So I just didn't bother. But I'm good now. I'm back and I'm ready to go. And yo, I am so hyped for 1.4. Like after seeing the information we've been getting and watching some of the streams that have been going on for the PTS, I just cannot wait to get hands on with 1.4. Because I'm so sick of 1.3, I'm not gonna lie, I am so sick of 1.3. The whole shotgun thing's it's just getting boring. I'm sick of dying to NPCs all the time, and the constant screen freezing is just really starting to make the game unplayable for me. Like, it's just ridiculous. But I just wanted to speak about 1.4 and some of the changes that we know about, because they're all good. I mean, I see a lot of people complaining, they're sort of going, oh, well, the MP7's getting a 31% damage nerf, and the M1A's getting a nerf, and my shotgun's getting nerfed, and blah, blah, blah. And they're literally, it's almost as if these people are looking at it with a one-track mind. They're looking at it as just that weapon getting nerfed, and they're not looking at it in the big picture, so to speak. Because you've got to think, okay, so your skills are getting nerfed, your weapons are getting nerfed, but the NPCs are getting nerfed, the players are getting nerfed. You've got to think, like, if you're nerfing these things and essentially bringing everything down so that it's not out of control the way that it is now. If you were to leave things like the MP7 as powerful as it is now, or the M870 as strong as it is now, or even the M1A as strong as it is right now, imagine how easy the game is going to be, and that would be counterproductive to all this work that they're doing to try and balance the game. It would kind of defeat the object. It would, in fact, if they were to leave the things that some of these people complain that they're nerfing just because it's what they like using. If they were to leave these things untouched and they were to keep, just nerfing like the NPCs and things like that, the game would be even more unbalanced than it is right now. So you've got to try and remember, like, just because you're seeing something that's nerfed that you like, and you like using it as it is right now, doesn't mean that it's not going to feel the same as it does right now. Let me try and explain. Like, so basically, if you were to go against a player right now with an MP7, if, depending on their toughness, depending on how it's done, you can drop them easy in one magazine, easily. Now, the way people are talking about it is like, oh, the MP7's got a 30% nerf, that gun is going to be so useless now, it's not going to do any damage, blah, 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 blah. But remember, the NPCs have been nerfed, the way the toughness and everything else has been changed completely. If you've watched the PTS, the average sort of toughness I'm seeing is around 300k, maybe just over, because of how the scaling now works in the game. Because like the skill power, you're seeing people running around with like 70k skill power in the in the PTS streams, and that's not actually a lot of skill power in comparison. It's just because how the game now scales it with all these new changes, it appears higher, but it is still going to be the same as, say, it was if somebody had like 20k skill power, something like that. It's just the number appears bigger, but that's how the scaling now works with the game. So, even though your MP7's been nerfed and you're dealing less damage with that MP7 essentially, you're still going to be dealing the same amount of damage in comparison due to how the changes have been made. So you will still be able to kill somebody in one magazine with your MP7, provided that your build's done right and your shot is on point and things like that. So it is not actually going to make any difference in how well you can do or how well you can perform whilst using that certain gun. It's still going to perform the same. It's just it's been nerfed because it needed to be nerfed to fit in line with all the changes that have been made to the game. If they didn't, like I say, it would just be overpowered, and it would defeat the object of this 1.4 fix. It would just be so counterproductive to getting the game back to where it needs to be again. So try and remember that, and also remember as well that the changes you're seeing in the PTS right now, they're not set in stone. These things are going to change. You know, every day they're tweaking things and they're fixing things. Now, the prime example I can give you here, I was watching a stream for Upper Echelon, and he was in the checkpoint and he had 300k toughness. He then stepped out into the dark zone and his toughness dropped to 244k, I think it was. And when he went back in, he checked his damage mitigation, and it was capped at 60%, because the new cap is now 60%. And when he went into the dark zone, it actually dropped to 50%. Now, in less than 20 hours, they fixed that bug. Sanctionite went on, and one of the first things he checked was if it was still doing that thing where his toughness was one thing in the checkpoint and it was lower in the dark zone, and it had been fixed. Your toughness in the DZ, in the PvP area, the PvE area, it was all the same. So in less than 20 hours, they had gone and fixed that. So that there should let you know that just because you see something in the PTS doesn't mean that is exactly how it's going to be. Because the idea of this PTS is to make sure that the balance is right, the bugs are fixed properly, things are working how they're trying to get them working, and it's not the final product. It is a test phase. You've got to try and remember that. But also remember, you haven't played it. So just because you see something as a nerf doesn't mean it's going to be useless. Because again, like I explained earlier on, these things are being done for a reason, and it's to make sure that with the new changes, everything else is kept in line with those changes. And if you've watched closely at the PTS, there is a wide variety of weapons being used right now. I've seen every single type of gun being used in PvP. I've seen PvP with assault rifles, PvP with LMGs, PvP with shotguns, with SMGs. There's a whole array of things being used, and even skills, there's a variety of skills being used now. It's not just shock turrets, there's flame turrets getting used. I've seen more people using like the seeker mines, and even the heal, people are using the defibrillator. I'm just going to say defib because that just came out completely wrong, I think. But people are using that instead of just booster shot and overheal. Like there's more variety being used, and this is a good thing because this is going to mean that specific roles within a squad are now important. It's going to bring much more teamwork and tactics to squad play. And squad composition, you're going to have a dedicated skill build, and he is going to have to sacrifice his firearms and everything else in order to achieve that. So all these changes are done for a reason, and it is being done for the better of the game, so just try and bear that in mind. Don't just jump the gun and start complaining and saying you're quitting the game and blah blah blah, when you've not played it, and these changes are genuinely being done because they need to happen. So yeah, just stay positive, guys, seriously, because I can assure you from what I've seen, this is going to be awesome. So yeah, that about wraps it up. I just wanted to give my thoughts on 1.4, really. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up, guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up, drop a comment below and let me know what you think, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Have a great day, guys, and I'll catch you in another video. Peace out.